Before a single chip of metal falls, we sculpt every surface of each Rolex watch in 3D.
Designers co-create every case, dial, bracelet, and movement layout digitally to lock in Rolex geometry.
The stress gradient right here, near the crown guard, is showing a high concentration.
Yes, I see the red zone. I'll adjust the load parameters.
Every case curve and bracelet link is checked on wrists to ensure the Rolex watch wears perfectly.
I'm nudging this balance so the rate evens out in all positions before we lock in the final architecture.
Only after design, simulation, and prototype testing align do we greenlight a Rolex watch for industrialization.
Here we melt and alloy our own metals, building every Rolex watch from carefully engineered blends.
In-house alloying lets us dial in exact hardness, color, and purity before a single gram becomes a watch component. Forging compacts our 904L billets, refining the grain so Rolex cases can be machined to extreme precision. We prepare proprietary ceramic powders and granules that will be sintered into scratch-proof Rolex bezels.
Lab teams verify hardness, microstructure, and corrosion resistance, so only proven alloys.
From forged billets like this, our machines carve every Rolex case with micron-level precision.
Multi-axis CNC centers mill each Rolex case from solid oyster steel, ensuring strength with no cast cavities.
5-axis machining sculpts lugs and crown guards, so every Rolex case hugs the wrist and shields the crown. Dedicated turning centers cut the screw-down crowns and pushers that help these watches stay watertight deep underwater.
Turning centers cut precise threads and gasket grooves so Rolex cases lock tight without sacrificing serviceability.
Optical and laser scans confirm crown and pusher interfaces.
Here we stamp, machine, and test every link, so a Rolex bracelet feels fluid but stays incredibly strong.
Each Rolex link is drilled and deburred, so pins slide cleanly and surfaces feel smooth against the wrist.
Robotic cells join hundreds of links with just the right play, so the bracelet flows naturally while staying mechanically tight. Clasp components are milled from solid blocks, so every Rolex bracelet closure feels tight and secure.
If this lock doesn't snap clean every time, the wearer will feel it right away, so I test each one by hand.
Fatigue rigs open, close, and flex Rolex bracelets thousands of times to guarantee long-term durability and feel.
These plain brass circles become the faces of our Rolex watches, finished to microscopic detail.
A precision stamping press shapes thin brass sheets into base dial plates. The tool forms the outer diameter, center hole, and dial feet in one strike.
Tampography pads transfer ultra-fine markings, so every Rolex dial carries perfectly crisp text and minute tracks.
Applied markers are pressed into Rolex dials with vision-guided tools to keep every index perfectly aligned.
Here we cut, shape, polish, and lume the hands that bring every Rolex dial to life.
Each hand is given a controlled curve, so it clears stacked components and tracks the dial surface without ever scraping it. Hand finishing turns flat blanks into sculpted pointers that flash as they sweep across the dial.
If a hand wobbles even a little here, you'll see it sweep unevenly later, so I'm checking every pivot line dead straight.
These machines carve raw brass into the main plates and bridges that hold every part of a Rolex movement in place.
Each main plate is milled from solid brass or nickel silver, defining the exact geometry that keeps the gear train in tolerance.
Geneva stripes and perlage add invisible stiffness checks and visible beauty to components usually seen only by watchmakers.
These bevels don't make the watch run better, but they're a signature. You see them, you know someone took real time here.
By bolting dense metal to a skeletonized rotor, we get strong winding power without adding unnecessary thickness.
Here we cut every gear and form every spring that keeps a Rolex watch beating on time.
Each hairspring is formed from a custom alloy that resists temperature changes while keeping a perfectly concentric spiral.
I'm opening this outer turn a hair so the spring breathes evenly. If the coils touch, the timing will jump all over.
Torque and elasticity tests confirm that these springs deliver steady power across the full reserve window.
Inside this clean room, we build Rolex movements piece by piece, always protected from dust and contamination.
The barrel stores days of energy in the mainspring, feeding it steadily into the gear train that will move the hands.
Automated oilers place droplets you can barely see, but without them the movement would wear prematurely and lose accuracy.
I'm shaving a few seconds here so this one lands right in the tight accuracy window before it goes to full testing.
Every regulated movement is tagged with its own data history before it disappears for days of independent accuracy testing.
For several days, these bare movements live in test racks, timed in every position and temperature until their accuracy
Automated stands swing each movement through 6 positions, mapping how gravity affects the rate over days of continuous running.
Hemming food lentils thing.
These few ran just outside the window, no big deal. We'll bring them back, tweak them, and send them through again.
Endurance rigs mimic years of wrist movement and button presses in days, proving the winding and calendar systems won't quit early.
Here we finish the cases, shape and polish the sapphire, and prepare seals so the movement can live in a perfectly tight, water-resistant shell.
Cyclops lenses are bonded optically to the sapphire so the date window magnifies cleanly without any distortion or trapped bubbles.
Custom-cut gaskets match each crystal and opening, giving the case its watertight compression when everything is pressed together.
I watch the reflection line across the crystal. If it bows even a little, we know the seating pressure wasn't perfect.
Finish crystals, prepare gaskets, and seal every Rolex case so the movement stays safe inside.
Hands are pressed onto stepped shafts in sequence, with clearances checked so they never kiss the dial or each other as they sweep. Torque-limited tools close the case back so every seal is compressed just right, and every watch can still be opened cleanly for future service. Once the bracelet's on, I flex every link and lock the clasp a few times. If anything snags, it comes right back off for rework.
Once a watch is fully built, it moves as a unit through functional and pressure checks before anyone can call it finished.
This is where every case, movement, dial, and bracelet finally come together as a finished Rolex watch.
Dry chambers pressurize the cases with air first, looking for any microscopic deflection that would hint at a weak seal.
Heating the case and chilling the crystal exposes any hidden moisture, and if the inside fogs, that watch goes right back for resealing.
We insulate it with strong magnetic field. If the rate's still tight, after all the pressure, shocks, and fields, we time the watch again. Its accuracy has to stay inside the same tight window before we call it finished.
Here we judge the watch with human eyes and hands. Every surface, every index, every bracelet fit.
We feel every joint and transition, any rough edge or mismatch, and the bracelet comes off for another round of finishing. This laser burns in the ID so we can trace that watch's whole life. No second chances if the focus is off, so I keep one eye on every mark.
Finally, we place each watch into its box with its papers, then move it into secure storage and on to dealers around the world.
From here, each pallet is tracked by serial and destination, so every watch's journey from this vault to its final wrist is accounted for. Each outbound load is scanned, sealed, and strapped inside climate-controlled trucks so we can watch every watch all the way to its next stop. From factory to air cargo, each shipment travels under tight tracking and insurance, heading toward regional.
These just came in from the hub, and tomorrow morning one of them's going straight onto a client's wrist.
This video was created as educational documentary content. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for more videos.